And we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Geyser Flow with Mick. And today with us we have Hero. As you know, in these short sessions, we go through some of the best creators out there, some people that have some great. There we go. Sorry, I was resonating in my own head here with the YouTube. Yeah, so we go through these great ideas that move Bitcoin forward, that tell the story of Bitcoin, tell the story that Bitcoin brings to us. And there's no better way of telling a story than through games, through play. So I'm really excited about what Hero's working on. And so today we're gonna deep dive in the Hero Bitcoin Game Boy game, the story, and also the vision for what's next. So without further say, what's up, Hero?
Hey, how's it going?
All's good, all's good. Excited for this session here. So we're gonna start right off the bat the with the video game, but maybe and we can just keep talking as we start the game. But Hero, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and what maybe triggered you. Actually, what are we talking about? What is Hero of Bitcoin?
Here, Bitcoin is a Game Boy game, which is it's just a very retro story about basically Bitcoin, and making a story that's interesting for people who are getting into Bitcoin or already into Bitcoin. It's just like just for made it for the culture, and it's just a nice little story for people to enjoy.
Right. So it's a story, it's a game, it's all of these things. And what was it that kind of prompted you to launch it and to kind of say, okay, this is actually a good idea worth doing?
There was a couple of things. I was really getting into pixel art at the time, and I saw that you can make Game Boy games. There's a lot of software out there for it, and I thought that pixel art that I was doing translates perfectly into making a game. I originally was just going to make like a small demo art piece for the Game Boy, but as I worked on it, it just became bigger and bigger, and I really wanted to. I just was having so much fun making it that I wanted to make a full-on game of it. Yeah.
So it was a pretty big, ambitious feat, really planned from the very beginning, because you've done voxel pixel art, but you never actually made a video game. Is that right?
That's right. It's my first ever game. I've made short films. I've made lots of different media, but this is my first time making a game. So I play lots of games.
You play lots of games,
Yeah.
but to start off, that's incredible. I didn't know that. That's really incredible. This is your very first game. Wow. So you must have learned a lot through it, and had a lot of challenges and hurdles.
Yeah, a lot of luckily there's a good community out there. There are people who are also making games and whatnot, so they're able to assist me when I had trouble, on
Right.
Discord and whatnot. Yeah.
Wow. Very, very cool. So let's bring it up and we can start seeing what that looks like as we go. Maybe
Did you
this is
want
a
to see
better
the
view.
story at the start, or?
Yeah, let's look at the story. Yeah.
All right. So there was a boy called Hero who grew up in an average family in an average house in an average neighborhood. He was happy with no cares in the world. That was until he became an adult and started working. Feel free to cut in at any time if you got any
Yeah.
questions.
Perfect.
At first, it was good, and he lived a mostly peaceful life. But no matter how hard he worked, no matter how many jobs he did, life was getting more and more difficult. Those around him who had things had caved in to becoming debt slaves. Hero wouldn't let it happen to him and his family. It was then he stumbled on the power of Bitcoin. He learned all about the fiat system and how it's ruled by a small amount of greedy people who want to make the world into debt slaves. He studied for 1,000 hours. Some would say he was orange pilled. Hero realized that the system is unfair and had to change it. It was then he decided to do what heroes do: fix the world by fixing the money using the power of Bitcoin. Hero tweeted to President Bukele about wanting to help the fight on the front lines. To his surprise, he received a DM. I've been looking forward to someone like you, Hero, someone who cares not about greed, but truly about the people of this world. Come to El Salvador. Your help is needed here more than ever. President Bukele. Hero didn't hesitate. He grabbed his Bitcoin cold wallet and took the next flight to the beautiful lands of El Salvador. And that is where the story begins.
Fascinating. So it sounds a lot. Is it similar to your own orange pilling experience? Your own?
That's right. I mean, Hero looks a little bit like me as well. So I just thought that a lot of people would have been orange pilled in a similar way to me. I think a lot, I've heard a lot of stories, people similar way. So, and I thought it would translate well and people would connect with it, with that story.
That's right. And so I guess what I was going to ask you is so we hear that he's orange pilled, but we don't hear what orange pilled him. So what was Hero, or maybe yourself? What was the orange pills?
It was Max Kaiser and Michael Saylor and all the other videos of people on YouTube.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And
on Twitter,
Yeah, and I love that sort of setting the stage for that. And actually, I love that it's keeping it quite open, but also demonstrating that he was a simple sort of normal person, right? And that he was transformed by it. And
that's the main message throughout the game is that there's a lot of people say heroes kill your heroes or whatever, all the famous people, but actually what this story is all about is that anyone can be a hero,
right?
With Bitcoin.
Exactly. Yeah, I really like that. So what was Hero's job?
He was just he was an admin working in a normal desk job. So just on the computer all day. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's interesting. Yeah. Sounds a lot like Neo in some way.
Neo from
the Matrix.
True. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So that's awesome. Very cool. Maybe you can kind of show us some of the gameplay as we keep talking.
Yeah, sure.
If that's all right. So basically, let's talk about the actual game. Like, what did it take to actually build it, like from the software to the hardware?
Yep. So the main programs I used were GB Studio, Pixel, and Tiled. So when you're making backgrounds and whatnot here, everything has to be 8x8 pixels in chunks or tiles. And that is to save space. The Game Boy has very limited memory. So you have to make sure everything is in tiles. And because this is actually a Game Boy Color game, every tile has 4 colors, and you can only color those tiles. You can color only in those boxes. It's a bit hard to explain, but the background here, the color palette for the airplane and the color palette for the sky are 2 different color palettes, and so it's quite confusing when you're doing a lot of coloring, and that's what gives it its very classic look, because it's very limited on what you can do with colors and whatnot.
Right. It's all just reusing these patterns.
Yeah.
Very cool. So that's the software bit. How hard is it to actually build a Game Boy game in terms of like the transferring the software into those cartridges, and is that sort of just done by third party, or?
You can get third party people to do it. I actually have my own little device here. And I can copy directly to the ROMs. I've got some prototype cartridges here.
Oh, that'd be cool to see.
So these are the cartridges I've been using. They're special carts just for testing. And so I tested on a bunch of different things. I've got Game Boy, just normal Game Boys. I've got Game Boy Color over here. I've even got the Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo. So everything has its own. Like, for example, the original Game Boy is really slow. and anything with too much stuff on screen slows it down a lot. So the Game Boy Color is much quicker, so better
Right.
processor. So
Makes
you got to
sense.
make sure that things, because I'm trying to make it for everyone. I want to
Mm,
make sure that it's playable in here. So there is some slowdown in some parts of the game, which is unavoidable unless I made the game so simple that so yeah, it's you have to test everything. So it's quite time consuming.
right. Yeah, I can imagine. Um, cool. Right. So then you did it yourself. You buy the actual cartridges and you print the software in them.
Yeah,
And how many have you sold so far? And
I think I've sold. I haven't looked exact. I think it's around 85. So
85.
I've
Right. Let me
sold
actually see
85
here.
carts. I think I sold 75 of the demos as well.
Right, 75 of that. Almost your 83 backers for the actual game. There's
Yeah.
127 remaining, so there's still some to go.
Yeah,
Um,
so the remainers will go to. So there's a lot of stores that are interested in selling the carts,
oh
so they'll
wow.
continue to sell elsewhere. So they'll just be our inventory, and so yeah, we're happy with the amount we sold on Gazer. We think it was an amazing job for Gazer to sell that many,
Yeah,
especially for such an old console. Like not many people have a Game Boy.
right.
Um, so I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would just probably get it just for the collectors aspect of it, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that's how you get there. I never actually was able to. Oh,
yeah,
right.
so I think a lot of people won't realize that there's actually a run button as well. So it makes it a bit easier if you're holding the run button.
Right. Was the ladder there before, or did you make it appear?
Yeah, it was always there.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Right. So that's interesting. So for oh man, so many questions. So many questions. But you mentioned obviously this is not about usability. Not everyone has access to a Game Boy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, if I
but it is
wanted to make more money, I could have easily done a whole lot of other things. But for me, I really wanted to be for Bitcoiners and something special. Um, so I thought, there is a lot of millennials that are into
right,
Bitcoin. I think it's
right,
probably one of the biggest generation that's in Bitcoin right now.
right.
And we grew up with this stuff, so it's like it's
Yeah,
really targeted.
yeah,
Especially because we've got a high male count as well. Um, this just targeted for the Bitcoiners,
yeah. Not
on
that
on
that's
that
actually a
medium.
good point. That's such a good point because I'm a millennial as well, and yeah, definitely grew up with this stuff. I had to go back in my parents' house and like look for the Game Boy, and then finally I got my hands on it. And it was absolutely a pleasure to play this game. This is new. This is new. I don't remember seeing this.
I've
Oh,
changed
demo.
slight things after the
Right.
demo.
Right.
Um, yeah, everyone in all the towns, you can talk to them twice. So there's a little bit of content there that people can read through, and there's some fun stuff there. Yeah, if you to heal in this game, I just thought it would be fun because everyone was going to El Salvador because of the Bitcoin
Right.
revolution. So all their businesses in this game are fully booked. So you actually have to heal by just being in the lounge because none of their rooms are available. So you just listen to podcasts. And so
That's
there's actually random podcasts that come up. So this one
no
is
way.
extremely live. So they actually interviewed me. So I put them in. He asked me to put them in. So there's probably like 10 or something different podcasts.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. What are some
Yeah.
of the podcasts that you included?
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh,
There's
right.
Michael Saylor.
But like which
There's Max as well.
episodes? Like which podcasters? Is it like what Bitcoin did or what's?
Yeah, what Bitcoin did's in there. Yep. I can't remember exactly, but I did make a post where I said anyone tag your favorite
Right.
Bitcoin things, and so whoever replied to that, I um,
You
put them in
included it.
there.
Very
Yeah,
interactive. Love it. Love
yeah.
it. Cool. Cool.
So what I
Yeah.
did was is I put so one of the main differences is also in this compared to the demo is that I've made it so you can skip all the dialogue because you will probably die a lot in this game. There's no saves. And just like the classic old games, there's no saves. You've got to start from the start. It punishes you quite hard.
That's brutal. Yeah.
So I've made it so can skip dialogue, so you don't have to read through, because it's quite a lot of text. It's actually not that much text, but because the text size is so big in this game, it's quite time consuming to go through them all the time.
Yeah, but even the fact that you can replenish your energy, that's awesome. That wasn't in the demo, right?
No, that was in the demo.
It was, so I
Yeah,
missed it.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That's awesome. That's so cool.
So these guys,
Yeah.
you gotta jump on them 3 times to kill.
Yeah.
So
I did get there. Nice. Yeah. So what's been the reception outside of the Bitcoin community? I'm sure you've gone to some of these like vintage places, vintage shops that sell these games, and has there been any reception, interest, or?
I haven't really been talking to that many people outside of this. I did have I did go to a gaming convention with this game, and it was quite popular. A lot of people were, were just talking about how retro it was, and how cool that was, that a game was on an old console. And I heard a lot of people questioning about, like asking me questions about Bitcoin and whatnot. So it was a good way to make that conversation with people.
Right. Because again, going back to the Neo, the Matrix metaphor, right? If you think about it, there was Morpheus that ended up, that kind of orange pill them sort of into the Matrix, about the Matrix, using just the terminal, the console, and he said, "Follow the white rabbit." Are there any like rabbit holes, or so, not rabbit holes? Sorry, like Easter eggs that you've included in here?
No secrets or anything like that. There is just a lot of dialogue of the people. I
Right.
hope you will read. The story is very linear. It took me a long time just to do all this game, so adding extra stuff it would probably take me another year and whatnot.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I just thought,
Cool. And how long is the actual game from start to finish?
it's a couple of hours, but that's assuming it's probably like an hour and a half if you just play it through. But you'll probably die, so it might take people longer. I'm not sure. It just depends on the skill level of the player.
Right. Gotcha.
I made this first boss much easier in this game. So before, he used to have to knock down the coconuts, which you still can do, but it was too difficult. Some people, because the people were trying to jump on his head, but the spikes, his crown on his head was supposed to damage you. So it was just too difficult for people, and so a lot of people died here. So I decided just to make it much easier, especially because it's the first boss. So
oh man, that's cool though. That's cool that you can do that. I didn't know you had to go through coconuts. That's awesome.
safety.
That's safety. Awesome.
So I got a sponsor as well in this game. Base 58.
All right, nice.
Was a major sponsor. So their school is in here. It goes through some of their. So you don't have to go to here at all. It's just one of those places you can.
Right.
You can visit. So I hope people check that out.
That's so cool. And is that Lisa?
Yeah. Is that her first name? It's Nifty Nay.
Right, Nifty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That's so cool.
She's really generous with that. So
that's
very
awesome.
happy with that. Yeah.
Man, it looks beautiful. I need to get to this part. I haven't reached it yet, but it looks really cool. So tell us what's. I mean, you still have a lot of cards. You're still sort of in the zone in terms of just wrapping up this and kind of closing this chapter, right? You have these 200 cartridges. You're also selling actual Game Boys designed with the Hero Bitcoin brand, right?
Yeah.
What's the story with that one? What's been the impetus behind that one there?
So I've been working with Mars, and we've been designing some other stuff for people that are Hero Bitcoin themed. So we've made 21 limited edition Game Boy, actual Game Boys. They are the original Game Boys with some upgrades. So they are actually, the insides are all real Game Boys. The shells have been replaced with Hero Bitcoin themed skin. And there's been some other upgrades, like the screen with backlit and speakers and a couple other just and buttons and whatnot. So and they're just a limited edition for those people. We kept a limited edition because it's too difficult to continuously buy old Game Boys and um, and here's Samsung and continuously make them. So we just thought that we'd keep them limited edition. We might bring out some other ones, maybe a Game Boy Color eventually or whatnot. So I'm leaving that up to Mars. Mars is in control of that sort of external media. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful. It's this beautiful big orange here, Bitcoin. And how was it producing it? Is it just sort of something you can purchase quite easily, or was there a lot of effort involved?
I think there's a lot of effort on Mars's part.
Right.
So he was purchasing. I mean, you got to purchase 21 secondhand Game Boys. You can't buy them brand new
Right.
anymore.
Oh,
So
secondhand.
yeah,
Interesting. And then
they'll
he
have to
kind of
be. Then he
constructed.
rebuilds, reconstructs them, cleans them up.
Uh,
Yeah. The
how
good
did
thing
this?
about Game Boys is they're very robust. They just never break, so you never have issues when you're buying them. They're just always working.
Right, that's incredible. I saw them like they survived bombs and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
incredible how robust
yeah,
they are. That's
yeah. They don't
awesome.
make them like they used to.
Yeah, it's all replaceable now, right? Um, right. So how does this partnership between you and Mars happen? It's awesome that you found someone that can really really gets it and adds to what you're building on.
Yeah, I was quite lucky actually. I had actually a few people reach out to me and offer things. I felt, but when I connected with Mars, I felt that he really knew what he was doing, and he's so um, yeah, worked with him. So it was all through Twitter. So he saw my project and he was interested in it. It's something that he loves as well. And yeah, our goal is just to do this for as a real job, which is it's just a dream at the moment, but we're hoping one day it can happen.
That's incredible. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the dream. So the dream is making video games, or are you thinking like studio? Uh, what's the dream?
Well, we didn't want to limit ourselves to just games, so we've made the brand of Hero, just Hero by itself, and that brand is just for everything to do with. It's probably all going to be themed towards the idea of Hero Bitcoin,
Right.
but it'll be things like maybe clothes and
Nice.
other items that people want to collect. That's it for now. Maybe I mean my main job is video and animation, so
Oh
if
yeah.
I feel like doing that later, I'll do that. But because it is a hobby and a passion, we want to keep to the things that we enjoy doing. So, but
Yeah,
there is
man.
no limit
Absolutely.
to it.
Stick to that, man. Stick to that. Stick to doing things that you enjoy doing, and you think other people will enjoy as well. So you're creating a really cool brand here, a really cool identity, and it's really the following the story of the plebs, right? In some way, it's going from experiencing the bears, um, and then orange pilling people, and then orange pilling yourself, discovering and making friends, right? We're making friends along the way as well.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
it's,
Oh, I've made heaps of friends while making this game, and that's the fun of being in Bitcoin. Like there's just so many people that are wanting to do stuff, make stuff, work
mm,
together, helping each other. It's a very good community,
that's
and we're very
exactly
lucky.
right. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, and it's cool to have a character like Hero that can be that
Yeah, well,
icon.
that was the idea. Like Nintendo has Mario, Sega has Sonic.
Mm,
Um, Bitcoin doesn't really have. I mean, there's a couple of characters. There's some people doing animations and whatnot. I can't remember the exact names. There's that frog one, and there's the lady that does the
there's a Pepe, right?
there's a Pepe. That's right,
Yeah,
Pepe.
yeah.
How did I forget that? And then there's the lady that's doing the comics with the dolls. What do they call it? Little. Can't remember her name. But anyway, she's in El Salvador now. Everyone will probably be
That's
screaming.
right.
What's her
Yeah,
name?
yeah, Lila Seisha.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Those are like these. Yeah, this like the memes, right? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
the
she
new
does a really good
world
job.
we're gonna
So.
build are gonna have their own Mickey Mouse, right? The new Mario's, these characters that tell the story of the world we're recreating. So that's
Yeah, it's just another way to connect to people, you know.
oh totally, man, big time. It's so cool. I love that. Um, so you are thinking of a Hero 2. Is this something you've discussed previously, or does this?
Oh yes. So this is actually this is my first announcement
Oh, okay.
because I haven't announced it yet. But
Oof.
yeah, I am now working on Hero Bitcoin 2. It's,
Whoa.
so it's going to be quite different to this one. It will be on a Game Boy as well, so there is the limitations of Game Boy, but it'll be a Zelda-like game, and should have a world map, and you'll be able to travel around the world.
Wow.
I'm still working out a lot of the details, so yeah, look forward to that upcoming project,
That's so cool,
and
man.
it will eventually be on Gazer, but I don't want to I don't want to put it up yet. I'm thinking about when to put it up because I don't want to, have. I feel like once it's up, I have to deliver. So I just want to, make sure that I get to a stage where I'm happy before I put it up. So yeah,
Have a good plan, right? Have a good plan, and then I'm sure oh man. And are we gonna need to wait another 2 years for it, or are we gonna get demos?
possibly. I think so. It's probably maybe even longer because it's going to be a bigger game. I think.
Right.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping. It depends how fast Bitcoin goes up too. If I can, if
Right.
Bitcoin goes up, I might be able to, quit my job and stuff. But
That's
that's
so
probably not
cool,
this.
man.
Probably not this cycle. Probably will be a next cycle.
Yeah,
So
we
this
gotta.
content's all new
Uh,
now. By the way, this all content was
right.
not in the demo.
Yeah,
So
that's
this
new
is
for me as
past the
well.
demo now.
That's cool that you get an extra life.
Yep. Yep. You upgrade as you go in this game.
Wow. And for the Hero 2, are you? I'm familiar with obviously with Pokemon, so the concept of catching them all. What's gonna be the meme of that type of, like? Because if you've got Zelda, you can improve your armor, you can improve your skills. But is it gonna be still story based, or is it gonna be some sort of way of
It's
accumulating
going to
all
be
the
story
Bitcoin? Or
based. It's going to be story based, but I'm going to try and make it less linear, so you'll be able to travel wherever you want
Mhm.
and do some quests. That's hoping. It's quite a big feat to do that because you have to. There's so much more work involved and that's why a lot of companies do linear storylines because it's um, much cheaper and much quicker to do.
Right.
So yeah, so it's gonna probably be fairly linear, but you will be able to have choices about where you go. Like with this game, you're just going right all the time. You're just going straight ahead. Whereas you'll be able to go into a town, or you can go to the cave, or you can go to the forest, or you can choose which one to go to. You can go backwards and forwards. Um, yeah, but I'm
Gotcha.
open to anyone who has suggestions of what they would like to see because I like to involve the everyone else as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool that you get a lot of the team player feedback
That's
to
the good thing
actually
about
create a
Twitter is
story.
yeah,
Right, right, right.
and Gazer too.
And do you have any plans of like integrating Nostr in some way, or like telling us sort of, or is that sort of is the focus Bitcoin?
The focus is Bitcoin. I might put a couple of Easter eggs in about Nostr, just some comments people say and things like that. But
Yes.
yeah, no, my focus is definitely Bitcoin.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That's
there will be a villain, which I'm thinking might be something like the hero of Fiat or something like that. So
wow, wow.
so he might also have a weapon similar to the sword of Satoshi. This is the sword of Satoshi here,
Yeah.
which is
Wow.
it doesn't replace Bitcoin, but it's basically speeds up. It helps. It's supposed to be. It's made to speed up adoption of Bitcoin.
Oh wow.
So you know, so it's just it's part of the story that you learn about
That
the
looks
sort of
awesome.
Satoshi.
The hero of Fiat, would that be? Would that look a bit like, I don't know,
I think
like
he's definitely got to be old
yeah,
because the boomers, what sort of their generation has done to the. I mean, it's not all their fault, but it's just that the
yeah,
legacy system is definitely that age. So I wanted to make him that
Rothschild like sort of.
yeah, gray hairs and all,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
but
sense.
open to if you got any suggestions, I'm open to anything.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. We'll think about it. I think it would make sense to think about something like old money kind of Rothschild banker sort of that's kind of cropped in the entire system, created the Fed, and the Fed being a private organization. Um, yeah, I think the creature from Jekyll Island has a lot of interesting nuggets there to take
Yeah,
historically from that for this. But yeah, man, this is incredible, and the whole angle on just branding of hero merch is very very cool idea, and especially as think as we start seeing more and more kind of younger Bitcoiners. Have you gotten a lot of reception from the younger crowd?
yeah. Well, I had a lot of kids playing this game at the gaming convention.
Right.
Um, the only thing was that they weren't really interested in reading too much. So
Mm,
a
right.
lot of them just wanted to play, so which is fair enough for
Mhm.
that age. But yeah, I think people who have the time actually have this game and spend the time on it will enjoy it and will get something out of it.
Especially the new Bitcoiner families. There are some conferences popping up now. That's sort of so cool, by the way. A lot of just Bitcoiner families, Bitcoin conferences focused on families. Like I think there was one. Goodness, what was it called? There's one in the UK. So definitely worth getting in touch with them and seeing if Hero could be featured in some way for yeah during these conferences. Um,
Oh yeah, definitely. That's our plan. I mean, I would have loved to go to Nashville, but yeah, getting our
yeah.
game out there now. It's all about. I think this game still is very unknown.
Hmm.
So definitely, my focus will be trying to push this out so people can see it and play it more. So I'm hoping that anyone who's interested in going to a convention and wanting to show this off for me, I'll be greatly appreciated.
Makes yeah, absolutely. Let's get the word out. Let's get the word out. Um, all right. So we talked about actually quite a lot. Hmm. Is there anything maybe that's worth discussing? That's quite exciting. Some challenges you've kind of come along, that you've crossed, and or key milestones that you have looking forward.
No, not really. Not that I can think of. Sorry.
Yeah. So like I guess first of all, selling these 120 leftover cartridges, right?
Yep, yep. I got some here. Um, yep. So this is the final game here. I'm just waiting on the boxes. So they're all here waiting for everyone.
Perfect. So they're all there. Are you already shipping them? Or are you gonna wait until you get to the final sale?
So no, so well, pre-orders are closing soon on Gazer. Closing in about 12 hours from now. So this will be your last chance to pre-order on Gazer,
Oh
and
wow,
then
yeah.
the rest of them will be available um, through shops. And whenever I or Mars go to events, we'll have stock as well that we'll try and sell.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, well let's get the word out. Only 12 hours left to buy them on Geyser. That's
Yep.
is that the Game Boys as well, or is it just the cartridges?
Well, there is actually, I haven't really announced it, but there is actually a one Game Boy up there. So if you hear it here first, guys, they go so quickly once I announce them. So I've just been holding off.
Right.
Um, so we've sold three of them so far. This is the fourth one on Gazer. I mean, we've sold more elsewhere, but there are only 21 of these. So these are very high in demand collector's items.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Wow, man, congrats. You've done an incredible thing here. raised over $15,000 overall. You know, if you think about when you first started, and obviously that's just on Geyser. Elsewhere, it's probably, if you add the elsewhere, it's probably a lot more. Um, how do you feel about it? You know, how far you've come?
Oh, I just can't believe it. Like, yeah, I went through some hard times and stuff developing this game. Actually went through some mental problems too, which I ended up going to hospital for. And so getting this game out with the amount of effort I've put into it, the amount of time I've put into it, because I've got a family as well, and I've got I got my own job and stuff, so it's definitely just in my extra time. I just can't believe that I've got it finally finished it, and finally people are going to be able to play it. So I'm just really
Man,
excited
you're
about
the hero.
that.
Holy shit! So, what
Hope
kind of
so.
mental problems do you mind sharing? Maybe it's a bit private, but
It is a little bit private. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I was just on my phone one day, and I had this almost like a brain explosion. That's just how it felt to me. And I had this feeling of doom, and actually, what they found out later is I actually had psychosis, and it took me a few days to figure out. I was sort of started going a bit crazy, I was lucky that someone identified that I had psychosis, and so I had to go straight to emergency, and been on medication since. So don't know how it happened, and just shows you that things can just happen to anyone at any time. So
right,
I was just
yeah,
incredibly lucky that a lot of people don't realize they have psychosis for a very long time, and it gets worse, and you get progressively worse. So yeah, I stopped working on this game for a very long time and thought I wasn't going to finish it at one stage. Had months, probably months and months away from this game to recover. So yeah,
wow, man. No, thanks for sharing. That's
yeah,
really appreciate that, and speaks to the effort involved and the challenges that come along the way, and it makes this sort of pinnacle you've reached even taller, is even higher. So congrats on that. In terms of, do you think it was triggered by the work you were doing and plus your own personal work,
no,
or
I don't
just
know, but I was doing a lot of study at the time.
right, right?
I was actually looking into near-death experiences, if you ever looked into that before,
Yes,
but
yes, yes, yes.
I was really researching hard on that, and yeah, it just happened. I can't explain, don't know why. Just
Wow,
I was focused a lot on my phone, and it just went, yeah,
wow. Yeah, take care of your health, everyone. Right, that's the first thing. Health
yeah.
first.
Go touch some grass.
That's right. Round yourself, and then play some video games.
That's right. Play some video games.
Yeah, it's amazing, honestly. Like it really it is amazing way of, for me, I do play once in a while, and it's a way to remind myself in some way that, well, it helps me appreciate the world as well. How if you see it as a video game, uh, the world we live in is an incredible video game,
Yeah,
and helps me appreciate um, the world we live in, and the design of everything. Um, and it helps me to kind of have that, I don't know, appreciation. Like if you were to see yourself as a player in the game, I think that's a really important kind of frame of reference that video games provide us. Um, would you agree?
yeah, I agree. And I always say that we've been training for Bitcoin our whole lives. Earning money
Right.
in games, and
That's true.
you know,
It's very
digital
true.
currency. That's like we've all sort of born into that. So yeah,
Indeed, I love that. Yeah. Are you familiar with Ray Kurzweil?
no,
He's just a bit of a he's that interesting kind of philosopher thinker around video games, and he does a lot of work on AI as well. But yeah, he's an interesting person when it comes to this kind of thinking of the world we live in as a video game, and the whole simulation thing is kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, but maybe we'll stop it here, and we'll pick it back up when we have a demo for the Hero 2.
sounds good.
Sounds good. Awesome. Well, Hero, thank you so much, man. Thanks for your time. Thanks for building
Yep.
this. Thanks for
And I just want to say also thank you to Gazer, because probably wouldn't have done this project without it. Honestly, like thanks to the funding of all the people that have supported me. Yeah, definitely wouldn't have done it. Gazer is such a revolution for Bitcoin projects, and I encourage everyone to get on Gazer and support the people who are on there. And if you have a good idea, do your own project.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Hero. All right, let's keep building and let's sell these guys.
Yep.
All right. Thank you all. Talk soon.
Thank you.